want to introduce you to Sam Swift, who is the CEO of the Leicester Tigers Foundation.
We're supporting it because the work of the Leicester Tigers Foundation is very closely linked to preventing homelessness. We share a lot of work with people that face a lot of barriers, such as poverty, disability, health, all those different needs that people might come across. So we're really passionate about that, supporting people within our local community, and the CEO Sleepout just brings that all together for us. And if we get to do it in an inspirational setting like the Matterley Woods Road Stadium, then all the better.
Yeah, so I'm Megan and I work at Leicester Tigers here for the foundation. The reason I'm doing this is because obviously I've only just moved to Leicester myself, and I have seen the amount of homelessness that is within the city, because I'm from quite a rural area up in Manchester, which obviously Manchester is still a big city for homelessness. And we got told about this CEO Sleepout they did last year. They told me how the humbling experiences and stories you hear when you come, so I thought I should be part of this, I should give a little bit back that I can. And after tonight, after hearing some of the actual lived experiences, it really does show I should be giving back a lot more than what I already do. So just this tonight, and I'm sure from now on, I will be happily to do anything I can to help people with homelessness. And it does change perspective of people who you do see in the streets, and how I'm going to look at people who are, not look at them, but look at how their lives need that little bit of extra help now. So that's why I'm going to do it every year from now on.
Without your attendance and your support and that network that you brought, these events don't happen. I just want to give a little bit of an update really as to where we are. Fundraising at the moment, we're in mid-teens and thousands. We're hoping that's going to smash past the 20,000 mark this evening once we start doing our posts. Those who were here last year will know that we are down from last year, but anyone that's involved in charities at the moment knows that it is a tough time to be asking for money. But what I want to let you know about the awareness piece that goes with these events, there's far more going on, and that's where I'm going to give a little update actually. So first and foremost, the club. Obviously we've got a few members of staff from the club, Scott and Mark, here tonight. The club shop have very kindly donated 100 hats, 100 tops, and some towels as well, which will all get distributed with the Leicester Homeless Charter. You can tell by my hairline that I need a hat, and that is an excellent hat, so they are very, very warm. Also, those who know the area, you'll notice that the hotel behind us has just changed brands. They are very, very kindly, on the basis that they've had to change their entire duvets, pillows, and every room, they've very kindly donated all of those. So that's nearly 150 sets of bedding to this cause. And again, we will distribute through Rebecca from the Homeless Charter and make sure that they go to all the right places.
This is my second year at CEO Sleepout Leicester. I'm doing it again this year because I was invited to do it last year and I was truly humbled. The stories that I heard were just phenomenal, gut-wrenching. I've always seen homeless people in the streets, and last year really made me realise and stop and think what was the catalyst of somebody making that decision, and what was the trigger for them being in that situation that they were in and they still are in. So I made a promise to myself to do this every year and support where I can, when I can, how I can. So here I am.
Hi, so my name is Enton Barefoot. I'm here at Matterley Woods, Welford Road for the CEO Sleepout Leicester. So yes, my name is Enton Barefoot, and yes, that is my real name. It's a very strange name, but so my journey began, my homeless journey, everything went to pot, didn't make the wrong choices. Drink and drugs was pretty much a major part of that. Found myself homeless. Luckily for me, I'd never experienced a city, being homeless in a city. I was homeless in Loughborough. And the strangest thing about it was that my journey into recovery started on the street, stopped me drinking, because I'd lost everything. There's nothing, I couldn't go anywhere else, no family, no friends, nobody wanted to know me. So the first thing I did was I was able to go to the local job centre and get a care of address. And it's all changed now, how it works now, because back then when I was homeless, you could get a care of address, and you can then apply for benefits, and you can go and get benefits.
Well, I mean, on behalf of the Leicester Tigers Foundation, you know, it's been a privilege working with CEO Sleepout, and it's something that we're all really passionate about. All the work that we do links very closely to the risk factors that are related to homelessness. It's something that all the team are passionate about. So thank you very much for all you do. Thank you very much for all of you guys coming. And like Mark said, you know, you probably want to hear more about the inspirational stories that we're going to hear tonight rather than charity speaking. So I'll hand back to you.
Yeah, I'm Jo. Thank you for it's a privilege to be here tonight, really is. My journey into homelessness started when I was 16, 17. I never had a direction. When somebody asked me what did I want to be when I grew up, my answer was I want to live and be happy. I didn't even know what that meant. I was never career-minded. I wanted to be a free spirit. I wanted to do what I wanted when I wanted, and I didn't want to work for a system that didn't work for me. I didn't understand tax and national insurance. I didn't understand why I had to pay half of my wages out to a system. And drugs came along, and it was an escape route for me. And I embraced it, and I enjoyed it. And then that led me on to living a street lifestyle for the next 30 years. And some of it, I believed at the time, was a lifestyle choice. It wasn't until I came into recovery that I realised I was actually entrenched in addiction that was rooted in a lot of childhood trauma, was brought up on a backdrop of domestic violence, and very anxious child, very nervous child. Drugs gave me the confidence to you know, they fixed some of those feelings at the time. And, you know, my homelessness, I wasn't always street homeless, sleeping rough. A lot of the time I was sofa surfing. I knew people that had flats, so I'd stay on their sofas, or I'd, you know, they'd stay on mine sometimes if I had a flat going at the time. And we were like a community.
But it's also getting involved in the community, you know, getting to know your neighbours, getting a positive social network, because, you know, loneliness can set in, and you might have got a house, but it's not kind of working for you. So, you know, how can you house these people that've got nowhere to live? I think an important part of what we do as well, it's not just the housing, it's getting people to kind of be able to live in that house. Yeah, if you've been homeless for, you know, however long, and then all the stuff that goes with it, yeah, and then to come into a house, to come into a flat, to come into an apartment, a bedsit, you know, those four walls, it can be very, very challenging.
I remember I was in my tent, and bearing in mind, like, the first night you spend in a tent when you've got nothing, I think I've cried that many tears in my life. I think those tears were meant.
Fortunate enough that this is just for one night only, and I don't have to do this every night, obviously, as thousands of people do in the UK. I've heard about the CEO Sleepout from a good friend of mine, Sean, who introduced it to me a couple of months ago. So tonight, myself, Sean, and a friend of ours, Dean, is sleeping out here. So I think, yeah, we've been out here 2 or 3 hours, and quite humbling, just kind of speaking to other people and listening to stories about people who actually experience this in real life.
Hi, so yeah, I'm Sean Smith, director of a company called Michael Smith Switchgear in Leicester. We manufacture electrical switchboards, and tonight sleeping out for the CEO Sleepout at the Mattioli Woods, Welford Road, Leicester Tigers Stadium. Obviously been out here now for nearly 3 hours, and very lucky that this is by choice that we're here tonight. Obviously a lot of people don't have that choice. We're here to raise funds and awareness for homelessness and see what we can do to sort of increase awareness really. We heard some really inspiring stories earlier from people with lived experience, and people from being homeless for 4 months to a lady that's been homeless for 30 years, and it's really humbling and inspiring to hear their stories and see how they've turned their lives around.
I remember coming through a gap in the hedge, and there was ginsters, famous pastry sausage rolls and stuff. So I thought, oh, okay, right. I wonder what's going on there. So, and I seen a gentleman come out, and he had this big bag, and he was going to what looked like a bin. And I was trying to creep forward without him seeing me, and he just opened this thing. I thought it was a bin, and he just chucked loads of food into it. And then I was like, I wonder if they're in date. It's like, I don't get paid. My benefits don't go in for like another couple of days. I'm thinking, I'm going to have a look anyway. So I wait for him to go back in. I go in. I then jump into the bin. And then I'm rustling around. I can't really see much, so I just basically try and scoop as much as I can. And then as I try to get out, he comes back and we frighten the life out of each other. And he's like, can't believe it. What are you doing in? Give me all these like words and stuff. And it's like, whoa. Like, I'm like trying to get some food. You took stuff out. I just want to try and get some food. Anyway, cut a long story short, I got out. He then realised I can take him to my tent. I can show you. And he was all right in the end.
I made sure I had 40p every single night of the week so I could get myself something to eat. I'd go and have a shower at Dover Street, the Anchor Club, every couple of weeks. When I started to smell myself, I would go and have a shower. I'd only walk around. I'd only carry 3 things when I was street homeless, because you'd either lose them, get them robbed, or you'd lose them somewhere along the line. I'd carry a comb. I'd have a comb in my back pocket. I'd have my benefit book in my pocket, and quite often a pen.
And then the reason why I tell you that story is because that's the first time you have to scavenge for food when you've got nothing, when you've had everything and you've got nothing. And that's where you realise that actually you just keep on, you become robotic and you try to understand what went on. Now I had professional help with my addiction, so that was hard as well. So I didn't want to give up drinking drugs, but I had to, and it put me on the street. So you have your first night on the street, you have all these feelings and things, memories you have of being in luxury of having a shower, luxury of using a toilet. Those are gone. Going into a public toilet to have a shave, looking in the mirror and can't see who's there. Those are the bad days. But the good days is I'm 17 years clean, so that's and today, so that's the thing for me. So I won't keep it long now. So all I ask you is when you go out there tonight, I know it's going to be a bit warmer, but just think of there are people across the UK who are sleeping rough tonight, and they haven't got what you've got tonight. So I think that's a nice way to end.
If we can do our little bit to raise some awareness and hopefully a lot of funds for it, then this is a very worthwhile cause, and hearing that lived experience is incredible. So, hopefully it stays dry.